I'm really sick of you clowns that just sit there and never push up when we're attacking, so here you go. This is how you attack and defend in Valorant. You can probably already tell that most of the maps in Valorant are defender-sided. That's because tactical shooters usually favor whoever can hold a corner. This is also why retaking a site after the bomb has been planted is difficult, but that doesn't mean it's okay for you guys to just go full Pepega on attack. I'll kick it off with some basic tips for attacking. There's really two ways to go about pushing a site. You're either baiting out utility and waiting for a pick, or you're rushing in. I'll go over both in detail along with some other strategies. I realize that there are an infinite amount of strategies that you can come up with, and I understand that I don't know everything about everything, but these are the most common attacking strategies in Valorant. Default. You're going to hear this term being thrown around a lot in this game. Playing default refers to baiting out enemies' utility and trying to gather intel before making a push. Most of the time, this is done spread across the map rather than in one place. Once you figured out where the enemies are and what utility's been used, you can pick a site to push based off of that info. This is relatively safe, and it forces the defenders to be patient. Let's go over an example for all you visual learners out there. Let's say we're attacking on bind. It would be smart to put somebody on A short, maybe a couple on mid, one B long, and maybe even one in showers if you're feeling it. Let's say you swing out on A short and fire a couple shots, and the enemy Sage immediately walls up. So you decide to break wall, and then she immediately throws down a crispy. At this point, you know that Sage is on A and has used almost all of her utility. Now let's say the defenders on B haven't used any utility because they're playing like bitches. So now as a team, you can make a decision on what site to push based off of that information. Rushing is pretty straightforward, but I'll still explain. Rushing is basically when you run it down one corridor to a bomb site and murder anybody in your way. It's not difficult to understand, but it's a little hard to pull off. When rushing, you need to have solid communication. You need to make sure you're calling out where people are and using your utility correctly. The nice thing about rushing is that it takes the enemy off guard and allows you to plant before the rest of the team can rotate. This is what a good rush looks like. Let's say you have a Brimstone, a Sage, a Sova, a Breach, and a Jet. Shit is gonna happen fast, so try and keep up. As you're about to push, Brimstone is gonna smoke U-Haul, the truck, so you can block off Heaven, and to the right of the truck. Breach is gonna flash the corner, Jet will swing out to check if anybody is in pocket, Sova will dart backside, and Sage is gonna wall off the cross between truck and pocket, allowing you guys to plant before the enemy even knows what hit them. This is a textbook rush. So technically you can rush whenever you want, but it's the most useful on rounds where you don't have the advantage. So maybe like a full save or a light buy when the enemy has rifles. Don't rush every single round though, because you're eventually going to get fucked. Delayed rush. This is the same concept as a normal rush, but instead of doing it right off the bat, you wait the maximum amount of time possible before pushing. This is done to make the defenders keep guessing where you could be. Sometimes they'll even get impatient and try to come find you, so you just kill them and then go. Same rules apply for this kind of rush though. Make sure you know your role and communicate with your team. Playing for picks. Playing for picks can be done a couple ways. The first is just playing default and waiting for a defender to peek a corner so you can pick them off then push that site. The other way is done when the defenders are being over aggressive assholes and keep rushing you even though you're the one attacking. Basically just play passive and wait for them to rush you. This allows you to pick them off and then push site with a numbers advantage. There's nothing super complex about playing for picks. Just make sure you have most of your angles covered so you don't get surprised by some lurking Larrys. Defending. Defending isn't as complicated as attacking, considering the game really favors the defenders, but there are a few things to keep in mind. Cycle your utility. Make sure you're not blowing your load at the start of the round. You want to cycle your utility one by one throughout the round to delay the enemy as long as possible. Play for time. Defending is kind of like playing 6v5 because the clock is on your side. The burden of proof is on the attackers to push you before time runs out, so be patient and let them come to you. Don't retake from the same angle. If they planted the bomb and you have to retake site, don't all go from the same angle. All you're doing is making it easier for the attackers to pick you off as you try to defuse. Don't rotate too early. This is a big one for a lot of people. I see so many of you guys full rotating as soon as one enemy peeks a corner. You guys really need to chill. These are the only times where you should be full rotating. If you see the spike, if they're rushing, or if they use a lot of utility in one spot. Outside of these scenarios, hold your ground and be patient. I'm not going to go over where to set up or map specific strategies because I'm going to cover that when I make guide videos for each map individually. This has been a pretty basic overview of how to attack and defend, but hopefully it helps. If I missed anything important, too bad, because this is the end of the video. If you want to let me know your thoughts in the comments, I can't stop you. It is a free country. Alright, bye.